Get ready, Saiyan! Now you'll face my blade!
What's going on, guys? Merrick here, back with our first Dragon Ball Super deck profile of the new year. I have been waiting for this moment. I thought this was the perfect time to go ahead and release this profile. We've been working on this deck for a little while, trying to get the right ratios and everything. Since it is a Shenron deck, it doesn't leave as much space for everything you'd want in a deck, because you've got to have the Dragon Balls and, you know, that kind of thing. So it was a little harder to fix the ratios to make the deck consistent, but I think we've got it here. And as we already mentioned, our leader card is the Dragon Ball. The only thing I hate about this leader is it can't attack. Otherwise, this leader it's easily the best Shenron leader, and I see why everybody plays the Dragon Ball leader, because there's just no better Shenron leader. You switch into rest mode, you can get 2 Dragon Balls from your life or deck. That is better than any of the Shenrons already, just right then and there. Not even including his Awakened ability. And then when you have 7 Dragon Balls in your drop, you can activate Wish to go ahead and search for a desired card from your drop area, add it to your hand, and flip this card over. Into Miraculous, Revival, Shenron. There's so much shine on this card, it is insane. Unfortunately, he still can't attack, but his abilities are pretty great. His first 2 activate mains are the same as every other Wish leader. You can choose to draw a card. You can play a desired card from your hand with energy cost less than or equal to your current energy, and activate its activate main. So you basically play the card without paying any energy cost for it. Or you can remove the 7 Dragon Balls from the game, and you can give any battle card in your battle area triple attack, plus 10,000 power for the duration of the turn. And then, of course, he goes back to being just the Dragon Balls after you've used that Wish. So you really don't ever use that unless you're going for a game. But the leader is pretty fantastic, and I thought it worked really well for this deck. First up, we've got our 1-drop, which is Isekai, Keeping Watch. She is basically a better energy-boosted Majin Buu. You play her, you draw a card, she's blue. And she has the added bonus of during your turn when your opponent plays a battle card, your opponent chooses a card in their hand and places it at the bottom of their deck. So anything that plays a battle card, period. Which, you know, works well for players that play the +1 to combo, such as the Future Gohan or the Double Shot Vegeta. Anything else that, if it's KO'd and brings a battle card out, they're still going to have to discard a card for that as well. In some ways, it's better than the Mass Saiyan 1-drop because it doesn't matter what skill is used to play it, whereas Mass Saiyan says a non-keyword skill. It only makes them lose 1 card versus 2, but it still gets the job done. Since we're playing a Shenron leader, of course we have to have the 7 Dragon Balls in our deck. Now, having 7 of 1 card really throws off the ratios. It creates an odd number, which means that you're going to have another odd number of at least 1 card. So you've already got to figure out those ratios there, but just, I don't know, it's just dedicating so much to the Shenron leader engine really limits the options that you can put in a Shenron deck. Then for our Wish, our Desire card, we have A Child's Wish. It's a 2-drop that says, if your leader is a Shenron card, choose 1 battle card in your drop area with 15,000 power or less and an energy cost of 3 or less and play it. So you bring out anything, 3 drop or less, 15 or less, and you get to play it. And if you play it using Shenron's Awakened ability, you can play that card for free. Then we run 4 Dragon Radar.
Look, check it out.
Easily one of the best cards for any Shenron deck, in my opinion. Its activate main lets you choose 1 of 2 effects. The first one is to look at the top 7 cards of your deck, and you can add any combination of 2 Dragon Balls and or Wish Desire cards to your hand. The second one is to choose 2 of either Dragon Balls or Wish from your drop area and add them to your hand. So a really good card to fetch out Dragon Balls, a really good card to give you a little bit more draw power, or to get your wishes back, which for this deck, I like to do that. I like to constantly get back the Child's Wish, because I like to abuse that card with one of my favorite cards in the entire game that I have finally found a perfect use for, and it is Terror Scythe Goku Black.
What's the matter, mortals? Relax. Don't be afraid.
Now, unlike the Nightmare Scythe Goku Black that we got in the Ultimate Box, this Goku Black doesn't care who your leader is. He's a 3-drop 15k that says, when you play this card, play 2 Shadow Tokens. Then you can choose 1 Zamasu from your deck and add it to your hand, and if you do so, choose 1 card in your hand, place it in the drop area. So, now this is one of my favorite cards to play, especially in this deck, because this is what we use for our wish most of the time, is to wish back a Terror Scythe, and then you're going to keep playing tokens. And tokens. And tokens. And more tokens. So, this is going to add up pretty quick, and you're going to have a bunch of Shadow Tokens on the board. Now, at 10k, they can do a little bit of damage, especially if your opponent is not awakened, or they haven't been able to get all 7 of their Dragon Balls yet. They can still get some damage in, but you can combo with them. And it's just free attack power, it's free combo fodder, and you can just leave them there and just sit there. I've actually gotten 10 Shadow Tokens out in one game, and it's crazy how much momentum the deck can build up between constantly playing Terror Scythes and summoning more Shadow Tokens. Then we've got the most underrated Zamasu card up until now. It's Evil Psyche Zamasu. I've been looking for a good way to play this card for so long, and I have finally found it with this deck. He's a 2-cost 5,000 blocker with Indestructible and Barrier. So no matter what, he is never leaving the field outside of Zeno. The downside is that he can't be switched to active mode, and you can only play one of them, and you can only have one of them on the board at any time. So he does have his drawbacks, but there are easy ways to play around that. Now, once you've got enough Shadow Tokens, once you've got your Zamasu, whether he's used his blocker ability or not, once you've got your Terror Scythe Goku Black on the board, you're going to whittle your opponent down until you are ready to play Infinite Force Fused Zamasu. He's a 10-cost, 30,000 power. You can evolve him onto a Goku Black and a Zamasu for 3 blue and 4 other energy. He has Indestructible, so he's not leaving the board for any reason whatsoever. And here's the best ability of him. When this card attacks, you choose up to 1 card each from your opponent's battle area, energy, life, and hand, and place them at the bottom of the deck in any order. So, you're going to get rid of a life right then and there on that attack. Then, if the attack goes through, you're going to get rid of another life. So by now, you've probably figured out the strategy, which is to get out Infinite Force Fuse Zamasu, activate the ability of Shenron to give him triple attack, and then you're getting rid of a minimum of 3 to 6 cards from your opponent's life. And if it's that late in the game, you've done your job, and you have won with easily one of my favorite cards in the entire game that sees absolutely no play since set 2. Now, I know 7 energy sounds like a lot, but with the Shenron deck, it has so much draw power, so much momentum, that it's easy enough to get up to that 7 energy, using cards like Objection. For 2 energy, this card says choose up to 1 card from your hand and add it to your energy. So this helps you ramp up to get closer to 7, so that you can play that Infinite Force Zamasu. Now, I had considered running 4. 4 did seem like it was a bit too much, though, so we cut it down to 3 because it's not something you want to see later in the game. And it can be a dead card if you draw it when you really don't need it. However, we do run 4 of the Majin Defier West Supreme Kai. She's a 2-cost 5,000 power with Barrier, and that basically says you can use her as energy in your battle area. So with this combined with Objection, you can get up to 7 energy fairly quickly, as long as you manage your energy properly and are able to play it effectively. Then for added defense, we run 3 Deadly Defender Son Goku. He's a 3-cost, 20,000 power with barrier that says during your opponent's turn, if your leader card is black and this card is in rest mode, your opponent's cards can't attack leader cards, and this card loses 5,000 power. So the 5,000 power does suck, but he's basically a wall for your opponent to have to get through to be able to get to your life. And when you combine that with some of the other cards in the deck, it makes for a very, very effective defense. Using cards like Temporal Rescue Trunks. He's our super combo for the deck, and he's our sparking super combo, so you can play him when you have 5 or more cards in your drop, gain to 10,000, and get to draw a card. And with the Dragon Ball deck, you're going to have 5 cards in your drop by your second turn, guaranteed, or something is wrong with your deck. Then for added defense, we also have cards like King Vegeta's Surprise Attack. We run 4 of these. It's a 1-cost activate battle. It says choose one of your battle cards. It gains 10,000 power and revenge for the duration of the turn. So you can use this on your Deadly Defender. Makes him 25,000 on your opponent's turn. He's got revenge, so he's going to kill anything that attacks him. Or you can do what I like to do and use this with the Evil Psyche Zamasu blocker. Get a free KO off of it, and because he has Indestructible, he doesn't die regardless of how much attack power the opponent has. Then lastly, we have 3 Power Burst.
Right, let's do this.
It's the black sparking counter that says if you have 5 or more cards in your drop, you can activate this card's counter by taking 1 card from your life and add it to your hand instead of paying the energy cost. Now you do also get to add a 1-drop black card from your drop back to your hand, but we don't run one. We did try the 1-drop Dragon Ball Seeker Bulma that lets you take a Dragon Ball from your deck and discard it to your drop, but I don't like that card. I don't run it, and anytime I played it, we didn't need it, so it just wasn't worth running. But being able to have that free negate that we can activate at any time is very, very helpful indeed. Now for the side deck, we've got a few different options in here. Most of them are defensive. However, the one that I felt was the most important is if you are finding that you can't get to the 7 energy, if you're playing against a deck that is just too fast, and that you just can't keep up with it, then you side out those 3 Infinite Force Fused Zamasus, and we side in 3 Twisted Justice Fused Zamasu. He's a 7-cost, 25,000. You can evolve him. You can Union Potara him for 1 green and 4 other on a Goku Black and a Zamasu, so you can play him 2 energy earlier than the Infinite Force. He's got Double Strike. He still has the Indestructible, so he's not leaving your board. But when you play this card, you get to choose up to 2 of your opponent's battle cards or 2 cards from your opponent's hand and place them in the drop area. And since they're placed in the drop area, they don't trigger any skills that says they can't be KO'd or says when this card is KO'd, because they're placed there. They just go away. So that is another card that you can swap out the 10-drop for, but also you can still use Shenron's Awakened ability on him, and that's 3 double strikes coming at your opponent, so that's still not bad. Then for some added blue defense, we have 2 Mafuba, because if you got blue energy, Mafuba should be in your side deck if it's not already in your main deck. It's a counter card that negates the attack, and you place this card on top of the attacking card until your opponent's next turn, the end of your opponent's next turn, and it just stays there. So the opponent's battle card is no longer a card and cannot be interacted with by either player or any effects that are activated. We also run 2 Group Leader Pilaf, just because he's a nice little 1-cost card that is good against Shenron leaders, because you can use it to strip away the triple attack that is given by the Shenron, and that leaves your opponent with really nothing left they can do as long as they don't have a bad ring laser to go ahead and negate that counter. Alright, well that's going to wrap up this deck profile. I wanted a little more time to play with the deck and to figure out any better cards we could run, figure out if there were better ratios for the deck. I know a lot of the cards in the deck are 3-ofs, but that was just the best I could come up with without cutting out cards that I really wanted to keep in the deck. If you guys enjoyed this deck profile, if you like the concept of using Infinite Force Fuse Zamasu, I wanted to try something different with the Shenron leader other than it being Gogeta and Kid Buu, and this just seemed like a perfect way to utilize this card. Make sure you hit that like button down below for us. We appreciate the support. We appreciate all of our subscribers as well. We were so close to 1,400. We would have had 1,400, but we lost about 10 people during that week. We were waiting on our PSU to come in. So if we can hit 1,400 by the end of tonight, then I'll do something special for the channel, and we'll probably have a longer extended stream tonight as well. We'll probably try and make it like at least 6 to 8 hours, as long as we can manage that. But with that, let me know what you guys think of this deck in the comments below, any suggestions you might have for it. And we're going to go ahead and get the frig out of here now, and we'll see you guys in the next video.